Hi guys! Today I am gonna be doing a video that has been quite requested. I'm gonna be talking about why I have left England so abruptly, what happened in London that made me leave so immediate, and so, you know. I'm filming this video for the third time now, or fourth time, I don't even remember, but every time I finished it, something happened and it got deleted, or I didn't like it and then I didn't feel like filming it again. So yeah, today I'm filming it and then today I'm uploading it and I'm gonna put it out there. So, if you did not know, I was an au pair in England, or in London to be more specific, from July 2019 till February 2020. The first 6 months, so from July 2019 to December 2019, I was in a family which was very, very loving and that I very liked. I had two host kids. I had a boy and a girl, and they were both very young. The girl was 4 and the boy was 2. I just liked to be an au pair there. I felt comfortable in my room. I loved my room. I loved the house. I loved the area. I was really, really close. I was in zone 2. I had such nice cafes and everything, and I was a big fan. I had a language course there. I met friends there. I got along with my host parents really, really well. Even though I have difficulties, my host mom has always been very, very respectful of me and was very calming and very patient with me, because I have got this stutter, and when I need to talk about serious things, it gets quite difficult for me to talk, even though on camera I can talk like I don't know, I can talk forever. But she was always very, very patient with me, literally included me into their families. And of course you don't feel like an actual part of the family because your family is back home, but it was kind of a family away from my family. I can't breathe, my nose is just, I feel like I'm getting a cold or something. I was meant to stay until the 14th of December. That's what my contract said, and that's what we originally planned when we had our FaceTime call in May. I felt like at home in London and I felt like I belonged there, so I asked my host mom what she would think of if I stayed a bit longer in London. She really wanted it and she really liked the idea. I really do remember the day that we were both sitting on the couch and the kids were around us and we started talking about it, and I was considering going to uni in London, which all of my friends did that were an au pair. Like if you're gonna be an au pair, you at some point you will want to find a way to stay in the country. We both wanted me to stay longer, but we've never actually set an actual date, the date that I was gonna leave again. We just let it out in the air and never really talked about it again. That was the first problem. 1 month passes by, and one night my host mom and I, we met at the kitchen and we started talking about that we should make up a date for me to leave. She wanted me to stay until May. I wanted to stay until April. I didn't want to stay until May because May seemed like a very, very long time for me, and I've been out of school since 2018 and I have not started uni, I've not started an apprenticeship, I've not started anything. So I felt like May was a bit too long for me. If I had done an au pair year right after I graduated from high school, I would have considered it. But that felt like too long for me. In the end, maybe I should have done it, should not have done it, I don't really know. But we both couldn't come to an agreement which made both sides happy. So we decided that it was best for me to go home, and literally I should figure out my shit because I didn't know what I was gonna do, where I was gonna go, which city I was gonna live in if I wanted to stay at home. I didn't know anything, and my host mom knew that, and she knew I was confused, and she knew a lot of me because I talk about my problems quite openly. I think my dad is gonna come inside. She knew that I was struggling to find something that inspired me for the future, like work-wise and everything, and uni-wise. So she also felt like that it was best for me to go home. And I also was quite homesick, and my host mom knew that, so she was scared that I was gonna leave all of a sudden. Okay, I forgot to add a very important storyline to the whole story, and that is that the reason why my host mom wanted me to stay until May was that my host dad's parents were gonna fly over to London to at the beginning of June, so they would have constant help. And that is why my host mom and I couldn't come to an agreement, because they needed me. There is a lot more that I can say, but I'm scared of getting in trouble, so I'm not gonna say anything more, but that is very important to know. I was really upset by it, and I was kind of mad, to be honest, but now that time has passed by, I do understand it, why she said it. We left on good terms, like on really good terms. So then when all of the news hit me, I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? I'm not ready to go home. Every time I would think of going home, I would literally feel like someone was gonna choke me or drown me somewhere, because I did not want to go home. Every time I'm home, I am stuck and I can't get out and I'm unmotivated. That is what is happening now. But anyways, I've decided to look for a new host family, which was not the greatest idea. An amazing 6 months au pair experience, and I've decided to look for a new family. So my friend... Hi again. I bleeped my friend's name out just because I was talking without thinking, and in the continuing video you're gonna watch, I'm gonna say her name again, and I'm gonna continue peeping her out, just because I don't know if she likes it. If she wants me to say her name, I'm gonna bleep her out, just to let you know. Had a family, and they were looking for a new au pair too, because my friend was gonna go back home to Germany. And I was like, perfect opportunity. So I met up with the mom, and my friend always told me that she was so kind, and she felt like she was on holiday, and she felt so accepted and everything. And I was like, in London, I did not know the area that well, but I went back home. My parents weren't 100% convinced, but anyways, I went back home, stayed at home for 4 weeks. I was there for 3 weeks. It felt like 3 months from the things I've experienced. Not long. So now here's the problem. I kind of knew from the beginning that something was off. The mom was... Now I think of the things that she said to me, or the looks she would give me, that were not really nice. And in that time, I just felt like I was overreacting, and maybe she was having a bad day, I don't know, but she was always pissed at me at the things that I did. I remember one time I was picking up the kids from school, which by the way was a long road. Like, I took the train and I took the bus to pick up the kids. It was really long. And then when I came home, the kids were on their mom's phone. So, and mind you, I got a schedule for each week that said what I had to do with the kids. Like, for example, give them lunch, go to this club and that club, and pick them up from there and from there. And that day I came home with the 2 kids. On the plan, it said, from the things I can remember, it said playtime with blah 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 and blah blah blah. But it said nothing from giving them lunch. And the mom was gone for some reason. I didn't know where she was, and that's why I let kids play with the phone, because I figured that they were allowed. Maybe I should have just thought about it and was like, no, we're not gonna play with your mom's phone. But honestly, I was kind of glad to just have a quick break, because it was really stressful picking up the kids from school, because they weren't really listening to me. It was a really long road, like train and bus, and I didn't know the kids. They weren't listening to me, and I was just glad to sit for a minute. And then they were playing this game on the phone, and the mom comes downstairs and she starts getting so angry with me and was like, why did you not give them the lunch? It's in your schedule, you should just read it. And I was like, it's not in my schedule. I didn't say it. I think I said that I didn't know, because I genuinely didn't know. But she said that it was in my schedule and I should just look up my schedule, and I looked it up. And it said nothing from giving the kids lunch. It was just playtime for like 4 hours. So I never confronted her about it, because I thought it was quite unnecessary to just go like, you know, here you're wrong. I was not wrong. And I think she overreacted. Each time something happened, she overreacted. She blamed everything on me. She got really angry. She got really pissed. And yeah, you'll see what happens. She didn't like me, I feel like. So this one night, my friend and I went to Liverpool. And my second host mom used to send me my schedule, like the things I needed to do, on a list, and she would send me the list on WhatsApp. So we went to Liverpool waiting for our train to come, and I get sent this list for the week, for the upcoming week. My friend always told me that she was so kind and she was so nice, and ever since I met her, I thought she was nice, and she wasn't like that extreme nice host mom that my friend was always talking about. She was so sweet to Katie. She bought her things, she bought her an advent calendar, and she was just really, really nice to her. And ever since I moved there, I got really weird vibes from her, especially the day I arrived. I had 2 giant suitcases with me, and the stairs were really high. Both mom and dad were home, and no one helped me to get into the 2nd floor of their house. And I had to carry these big suitcases all by myself. That was the first time I thought, well, that's not really nice. It's not that bad, you know. I did it by myself, but anyways, never saw the dad. I maybe saw the dad like 2 times because he was working a lot. He was a chef in a restaurant in downtown London. And the mom was always alone with the kids. She had 3 kids, and she had me, which I don't really understand since the mom was always home. But anyways, I was in Liverpool with my friend Lara, and I get this schedule messaged to me. I see the amount of hours I had to do, 2 7-hour shifts and 2 4-hour shifts, which is not long. It could be worse, but I was not getting paid that much. So I messaged her. By the way, just to say it before I get into the story, do not ever ask your host mom a question about money. Do not message her that. Just do not do it. Mind you, I was in 2 hours of sleep. I was not thinking straight. I thought the idea to ask her why I was doing this amount of hours for this amount of money was a good idea. It was not. I've asked her in a really polite way. I was really trying to use like formal words and everything. I don't think it came off really formal since she wrote me a message back. The message was so mean and so long. Like, I've texted her this amount, but I think I actually still have the chat. Yeah. Thank God I screenshotted the things to my friend. I said, thanks, blah blah blah. I was talking and she said she did around 5 hours per day when she was with you and got £100 per week. I know she got money for picking up the kids from school, but how come I kindly earn £80 when I do more hours than her? Shouldn't have said that, shouldn't have written that even in the first place. And she went off. The first sentence she said, Hannah really dot. She helped blah 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 with his homework. You have not really been much help there. You work 25 to 30 hours, Hannah, and have the free accommodation and travel stress-free. She ran the boys around a lot more than you because she had a car. You honestly do less than she did, so what it is with the money. Hours, that's what she wrote. You don't. If you had an issue, maybe you should have spoken to us. Take Monday off, Hannah, really, if it's too much for you. Work the same hours but did more. She's basically blaming me for a lot of stuff, and I understand. Okay, I really understand that I should have not written that. I don't ask about money through a text. That was really immature of me, but I didn't know any better because I've never experienced like that situation before. I've never had a real actual job. I was a volunteer at a nursery, but that's not the same thing. Like it never came to that, to ask them about why I was earning that much money, because I was earning a crap amount of money. Like I did 40 hours per week and I earned like 300 euros. That was not a lot, but it was not the kindergarten's fault. It was more like the state's fault, if that makes sense. She wrote a lot more. She also said, and to text us, you can come to me and speak before you have an issue. And I've basically apologized to her a million times. I said that I was not thinking straight and it was really immature of me, and I literally said, I'm really, really sorry so many times. And I've asked her if we could speak on Monday morning because I was on my way home from Liverpool. And she said, I'm not in Monday morning. It's unbelievable you would start this. If you have an issue, speak with me, not though hiding behind a text. You obviously have an issue with the hours and money as you would not bring it up. And yes, I did have an issue, but I was not trying to cause an argument. I was just trying to genuinely ask why. I was not blaming her for anything. I was just wondering, and if she was a respectful woman, she would have texted me back, Hannah, could we please not talk about this through text? Let's speak Monday morning. Simple as that. I know I did a mistake and I know I should have not written that, but she was being the immature one. Because I was a 20-year-old German girl living in London, away from their family for the first freaking time. Like, it doesn't make me sad anymore. It doesn't make me even mad. It just makes me laugh because it was just so stupid. But anyways, I looked into the contract. By the way, I was crying, I was sobbing, I was showing my friend Laura the text because she was the one who also said, yeah, you should really ask her that. Ask her. It's a good way to ask. Well, she in the end said maybe it was not a good idea, but I don't blame her because we were both in 2 hours of sleep. We didn't know any better. We both never been in that situation before. And I went through the contract and I read the contract again, and she was right. She in the contract it said the amount of hours I needed to do and the money I would make. Maybe I should have thought about it a bit earlier before going to London, but I was just like genuinely, I was just wondering. I was never meant to cause an argument, but she was not into that. I've texted her a million times that I was sorry and that I've read the contract again and that she was right. And the last answer, the last text I said was, you can count on me and I know I can do this. I'm sincerely sorry. I will better myself. I'm like, I was so stupid. Like, I kept apologizing to her, like, and she read the messages and didn't even respond to me. So the night I came home at like 11. I was scared to death to go in that house. I remember going out of the tube, I felt like shit. I felt like absolute crap. I cried for so long and I only had 2 hours of sleep and I just felt like crap. I don't know. I did not tell my parents about it at all. I stood in front of that door for 5 to 10 minutes being too scared to go into the house, which is not the best way to treat your au pair, to make your au pair feel so scared and so insecure to even put the freaking key into the locker and unlock the door to go into the freaking house. After like 10 minutes staring at the locker and talking to my best friend on the phone and crying to her and telling her how scared I was to go into that house, her advice and her voice even just gave me a bit of hope. I went into that house, was quiet as shit. I didn't want to make any noise. I think she heard me because you hear everything in that house. It makes like every noise when you step into the floor. Like, I don't know. It was also kind of a dirty house, so I didn't feel comfortable in my room. Oh, also, the first day I was there, the toilet smelled like absolute crap. It was so smelly. It was not healthy anymore. And I told her that and she was like, oh, she's so sorry and she's gonna get me something. 1 week passes by and she gives me something for the toilet. And I told her 2 times to if it was possible for me to get something to clean the toilet, because she was not gonna do it. The dad was not gonna do it because he was never home. So yeah, I cleaned the toilet by myself. And just everything smelled in that house. In my room, my clothes smelled so muddy. It was just not nice. Went to bed. I was really sad and I woke up and I felt like I didn't sleep because I was still so tired. And I woke up knowing that things are not gonna get fixed anymore, considering the way she texted me. Because by the way she texted me, I knew she was gonna talk to me. Then I started packing my things because I knew things weren't going to be right anymore. And I just, even if we spoke about it, I knew that I wouldn't feel comfortable in the house anymore, since she was blaming me for so many things towards the kids that I felt like I wasn't good enough to be their au pair. So I was like, you know, I've done a good job at my first au pair place. I'm not perfect. I don't do things perfectly. I was definitely not perfect at my first host family, but I'm just 20, you know? I'm learning things and learning by doing. So I went downstairs and it was just the strangest thing ever. The mom was like, hey, how are you doing? How did you sleep? And I was like, good. Can we talk, please? And she took a time to, like, when we actually talked, then the boy, the 8-year-old boy, said to me, you know, Hannah, my mom told me about what you did, and she said that every time you pick me up from school now, we're not allowed to talk German anymore, since I could get bullied and harassed at school. And I'm dared to talk German to them because the dad is German and the boys are meant to learn German. And he said that to my face. The 8-year-old son, and the mom was like 2 feet away from us in the kitchen. And if it was wrong, if he was talking crap, she would have said something. But she said nothing. And I was like, in which movie am I at the moment? Then when they had lunch, she gave every single one of the kids something, including her, and she didn't give me anything. I was at the dinner table. I was sitting with them and she didn't give me anything, and she always did that. Like, she would always give me food and everything, and that's so disrespectful. She was so childish, and I don't know what her freaking problem was, but she definitely had something going on. She definitely had something going on that was not including me. I feel like her marriage was kind of wacky, but since the dad was never home and she was always taking care of the kids by herself. But yeah, after time passes, after they've had their lunch and I played with the kids, I went into the room where the kids were finally gone and I was only with the mom, and she could tell that I was nervous and that I had a stutter, that I was scared of her, honestly. And I came into that room, I was like, I'm so sorry, I have never meant to come off rude in any way. And I stuttered a lot more when I was talking to her. And she had such hate in her eyes and said to me, Hannah, why did she even say that in the first place? And she like half laughed and half had anger in her eyes. And I was like, because I just wanted to talk about it and I just wanted to know. And she was going off. She was starting very low and started to eventually scream at me, scream into my face. And I was sitting with her and I was like, do not scream at me, stop screaming at me. And she was like, and I told her I did not want to stay any longer. And she was like, yep, well, we have 2 options. Either you leave tomorrow or you could work for the rest of the week and then leave. She was not trying to solve the problem. She was not trying to make peace with me. She just wanted me to leave, which only leads me to thinking that she had always have an issue with me. She did not like the way I worked. She did not like the way I behaved towards the children. Maybe I was handling the kids differently just because of the freaking fact I was there for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. You can't get used to your host kids by 2 weeks. I definitely was strange maybe in the first 2 weeks that I was with my first host family, but my host parents back then knew that it was very overwhelming for me to live in a different city. And yes, I have lived in London for 6 weeks prior to that new host family, but it was still an adjustment, and she didn't understand that. She told me, Hannah, you have been here for 2 weeks already, you should get used to it now. And I was like, girl, have you ever lived in a different city, different country all by yourself by 20 years old? I don't think so, because what you're saying is crap. Basically, I said that I didn't want to stay until tomorrow. I was gonna leave today. Then she started screaming at me again, and she was basically repeating herself. I don't remember everything. It feels like a dream. I feel everything that I've experienced feels like was repeating herself all the time, that how I could do this, how I could write something like this, and why I would bring into the topic. And I was like, Katie is my friend. She told me about the way she worked, and she didn't understand that.
She tried so hard to protect my friend. She tried to put her out of that situation. She blamed me for everything, and she blamed me for bringing her into the situation, which is, I think, ridiculous.
I feel like they like so much that they expected me to be like, to work like, to act like a wonderful human being, and I love. She has got nothing to do the way I was treated, because they treated her differently, and I could not bring. And she also apologized to me for bringing me into that family. I was like, girl, that's not your issue. Like, you don't have anything to do with that. It's their mom's problem. She was screaming at me. She was like going, oh, she was like, how could you do this and everything? And then the kids came in, and I was like, girl. I was not saying that, but I was really scared of her. And then I stepped back, and I was like, I'm leaving today. I'm leaving now. I don't want to stay any longer. And as I went out of the room, I saw her putting her hands on the kitchen counter, like holding herself. And I was like, you have some issues, and I don't know what it is, but I want to get out of this house. I felt sorry for the kids, because I hit it off with the middle-aged year-old. I really liked him. But the older one, I feel like he didn't like me, and I didn't like him, to be honest. And the small one was just really squishy and really cute. So upstairs, and started sobbing and started calling my friend. I basically cried into my phone, and she almost started crying too. But as I was upstairs, this host mom was sending me my friend's schedules so she could prove to me that I worked less than her. And she sent me like 5 messages, and I remember being up in that room, and I was like, she's a psychopath, she's a psychopath. So I packed my stuff. Luckily, thank you, past me already started packing, so I didn't have too much anymore, but I had so much stuff and I didn't know where to go. Long story short, I packed all of my stuff and went to a hostel, which was 10 minutes away from me. I had 3 suitcases, 2 backpacks, and 2 tote bags, and I did it all by myself. I couldn't even say goodbye to the kids, because the mom spontaneously decided to take the kids on a bike ride. She left without even saying goodbye. The kids couldn't say goodbye to me. And I packed up, sorry for my nose. I took all of my stuff to the hostel. I had to go 2 rounds, and the hostel was like 10 minutes away, so it wasn't too bad. But I remember how heavy my stuff was, and how my body was aching. Got everything from that freaking house. I wasn't laying in that hotel room, and I took a 3-hour nap because I was just tired. I didn't have any energy left. So when I woke up, I got a text from that mom, and she was like, Hannah, I really wish you the best of luck in the future. I'm sorry for getting so upset with you. And I was like, I'm gonna block you because you scare me. Then, luckily, I have a family friend who's my grandma's friend, who lives 10 minutes further from the hostel, and she was like, you are not staying in that hostel, you are coming to me, you are staying with me, you can stay as long as you want to. And I was like, so the day after, I took all of my stuff again and brought it to my mom's friend, and I explained to her everything. I stayed with her for a week and went to Edinburgh with my friend Lara, and we had a really great time. And I've never heard of that mom again. I do not want to. Basically, I feel like she had an issue with something going on in her life. She had a great 6 months. Maybe I shouldn't have done the 2 months. I was just trying to escape from my reality back home. I was just trying to push the home back off, because I felt everything felt so right in London. But then when I changed the family, I didn't feel comfortable in London anymore. I feel like it was just the experience that I've made with my first host family that made it so special, and that made London so special. That's the story, why I left London so abruptly. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.